Good evening out there. Well, the sun has slowly made its way down once more, and we can finally get comfortable and have a chat. My name is Eddie Booze, and this is Exit the Matrix. All right, you guys. Throughout my life, I have traversed my share of rabbit holes, and like many of you out there, I have seen and experienced some things that I simply cannot explain. And I invite you all to consider that this world may not be exactly what we've been told it is, and that maybe, just maybe, we haven't even scratched the surface of the absolute truths that lie before us. That being said, let's get into today's episode. My guest today is none other than my producer and good friend, Mr. Steven Magdaleno. How you doing today, Steven?
I'm doing well. How are you, Eddie?
Good, man. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for having me.
Very fun guy to work with. And he runs our gaming platform here, and then he produces all of the podcasts that we do here. So pretty much every podcast that you see come out of this place, he's a producer on. And yeah, kind of all hands, does everything here. So love to have Steven at Pacific Lens. I like to be a part of the team anyway. So, but are you ready to get into it today?
I'm ready to get into it.
All right, so I have a number of episodes ready to like throw out there at any given time. Mm-hmm. But today I wanted to talk to you about haunted artifacts. Okay. So we're talking about haunted artifacts today. Objects so cursed, so terrifying that they've been locked away, buried, or even destroyed. but their dark energy, it lingers. So tonight, we're going to talk about 5 of the most infamous haunted objects in history, okay? You've probably, some of you out there, and so I'm 43. How old are you, Steven?
I am 27.
27. So there's a 16-year difference here. So I'm going to guess that you probably haven't heard of some of these artifacts. Like, have you heard of Robert the Doll?
No.
So Robert the Doll is a big one for like people my age, because when I was, you got to understand, like I was in my 20s when YouTube came out. Okay. When YouTube was first a thing. So like the internet was first coming out when I was 18 years old. Okay. So the internet wasn't just full of all it is today. Like there was not as much, but a lot of it was full of like, all this fun haunted artifact stuff or conspiracy theory stuff, or some of that was like some of the first content you would get on like YouTube. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And it was like some of the first stuff that people were like posting like vlogs about, or had like chat rooms about, or things like that. There were a lot of that, that and sex. I mean, there was a lot of like, there was a lot of that debauchery going on with the internet in the late 90s. It was free. Yeah, exactly. So, but okay, so Robert the Doll was a huge one, and then there's like artifacts like the Divic Box as well, which is a big one also for people like myself who are like into this kind of thing. Like Annabelle, when those movies came out, they were like, I had never even heard of Annabelle. I hadn't even heard of the couple with the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine. Yeah. I had never even heard of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Like I had knew the Amityville Horror happened, I knew the Entville Poltergeist happened, but I never heard of this. Ed and Lorraine Warren. I never heard of Annabelle. But I heard of Robert the Doll and the Divic Box. So when I was thinking about today's episode, I was like, all right, I'm going to get into haunted artifacts, but I'm going to start with 2 of my old favorites from way back in the day: Robert the Doll and the Divic Box. Okay. So we've got 3 more also that are just as cursed, and trust me, you might want to keep the lights on for this one at home, you guys. So what do you say, Steven? You ready to exit the Matrix?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Make me knowledgeable of
this. All right,
this.
Here we go. All right, segment number 1 is Robert the Doll, the original haunted doll. Well, I'm not the original. I mean, like, as far as we know from the internet, from internet times, all right? Okay. So the story goes that in the early 1900s, a boy named Robert Eugene Otto received a doll from a servant who allegedly practiced voodoo. He named it Robert, but before long, the doll took on a life of its own. Robert's parents would hear him talking to the doll and hearing a voice respond. Objects in the house would move, break, or disappear. Neighbors swore they saw the doll move on its own, watching them from the window.
That's creepy.
Bro, even after Robert Otto grew up, he kept the doll and things only got worse. Okay, so this is where it gets like really weird, right?
Okay.
So where is it now? Robert the doll is locked in a glass case in the museum in Key West, Florida, and visitors who mock him or take photos without permission. In fact, it's the one who take photos without permission that I've read about. In fact, there is significant amount of people who have had major issues with this. Okay, so if people decide to like mock him or take pictures without permission, they have to ask permission to take a picture with him, report car crashes, illnesses, streaks of horrible bad luck, and there are hundreds of apology letters sent to the museum from people who claim they were cursed by Robert. Yeah, dude.
That's trippy.
So, all right, exactly. So if you were in that museum, are you asking Robert for permission before taking that pic, or are you going to risk it?
I don't even think I'm going to bother to take the picture.
I'm not either.
I'm not taking that risk. I was like, it's like growing up, step on a crack, break your mother's back. That's it for me. You tell me that there's something that could potentially change the path for my life and all these bad things, I'm good.
Exactly. So hundreds of apology letters are sent. That's crazy. So first of all, for me, I don't even think I'm going to a museum where Robert the doll is on display. Just something. That's just me. I think for me, I can avoid that. You know, I remember, and I've told this story on the podcast before, but I had an incident where I had just bought a boat. And a friend of mine who's I didn't really know back then.
I think you had mentioned this before.
She called me in one morning and said, "Hey, I had a dream about you. I don't think you should like go near water." And I was like, "What? Go near water? What? Why?" And she was like, "I didn't really want to tell you about the dream. It was kind of fucking horrible." I was like, "Okay." I was like, got off the phone. I was like, put the boat up on offer up for sale. Like, I'm not doing that. Like,
yeah, like, see ya. Good riddance.
Yep. So I'm not taking the risk, dude. Exactly.
I mean, I already have no business in Florida, let alone would I go there to see this doll and risk that?
Oh, Robert the doll, dude. I don't know, man. But yeah, so there's a number of like very interesting things. Okay, so so wasn't Annabelle supposed to be haunted, or
it was supposed to just
something
kind of,
along those lines?
Along those lines of it just like coming to life though on its own and like tracking you down and like finding you in like your nightmares and other things like that to just kind of take you to a point of just thinking everything is real and this doll is essentially going to kill you.
Right.
So that's kind of my general understanding of it, and I think there's I just remember seeing something. I think there's like a house or something that is related to it where people can go and like spend the night with whoever might own it, and like you get to experience the haunt. So I would have to double check on where I saw that, but I remember seeing some clips of someone just like taking their friends there, and they had no idea where they were. And then all of a sudden, like, they're going through it, and then the people giving them the tour are like, oh, this is what happened here, or this is kind of like what is haunting this place. So like they took them there as the sun's going down, and they're like, you're sleeping here tonight. So they just kind of blindly threw their friends into this. And if that was me, if I was that friend, oh, I'm finding every way out. I'm good. I'm staying away.
Exactly.
I'm not putting myself in that situation.
Right?
So.
No, absolutely not. I'm not taking that risk. Absolutely not. Okay, so check this out. So, one of the tourists who took a photo without asking, and upon returning home, he lost his job, his girlfriend left him, and he was in a car accident on the way home.
Oh, wow.
Another visitor's camera and phone both stopped working immediately after taking pictures without Robert's permission. And those two are obviously among the people who wrote to the museum asking for forgiveness and for Robert to lift the curse. Lift the curse on me, Robert. Some ghost hunters and investigators reported sleep disturbances, including vivid nightmares and feelings of being watched. One group recorded an EVP session where a voice whispered, "Leave," near Robert.
Oh, wow.
Dude, I don't know, bro.
I mean, that could go to like a whole deeper level of, is that true though for those like ghost hunters and things like that? Like how do we know as the public eye, like it's just not something kind of put there?
I believe in ghosts, and I don't believe that ghost hunters are real. I like everything they find I question every single thing, you know, but I also believe in ghosts and the paranormal. Like, I'm going to tell you, bro, I had an extremely unsettling experience one time. And let me see if I can, while we're doing this, if I can actually pull up the recording. So I got a recording of this. Okay. So I was there. I have a YouTube channel. It's my personal YouTube channel. It's the Eddie Boo's channel. And one day I was recording episode 2 of This Is Me. So if you go to my YouTube channel and you look up This Is Me, you'll find this thing where I talk about like how I found music in general, like you know, and like the first concert I ever went to, and blah 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 blah. Well, that episode I was getting ready for, I was preparing for, and I was doing like a mic check, and I was playing the guitar and talking into the not into the mic because the mic was out here, it was just off camera, and I was talking and getting my levels right, you know, and I get everything right. I leave it on for about 5 minutes. I'm playing, I'm singing, and then I stop it. I get the camera right. I go back and I listen just to make sure that my settings are right and that everything, you know, sounds good. Everything's, you know, right. So, so I do that, and I come back to listen, and I hear this voice that's not me. It sounded like a voice to me, and I'm gonna play it for you guys now. I'm actually pulling it up right now. I have saved this in my Dropbox because because this was something that was so insanely strange to me. It gave me chills the moment that I heard it, you know, and it's one of those things like, you'll see. You tell me. I want you to tell me if and what you hear here. And I'll turn it way up. Let's pull it in here, and
I'm actually really curious.
Okay.
To see what this is.
All right. So you need to. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a set of headphones. All right. So I was listening back to my test, my audio test, and this is what I heard, Steven. So you tell me if you hear anything. So what did you think okay, did you hear anything there?
I did. It sounded like a woman's voice.
A woman's voice, right?
Like, don't stop that.
It sounded like a woman's voice. Yeah. What did it say?
Don't stop that.
Okay.
Twice. I heard it twice.
Okay. That's what I thought it said too. I wanted to play it again, and here I turned it up so loud, and I like took out some of the frequencies and everything, and I replayed it and replayed it, and to me it sounds like she says, "Don't stop. Don't stop doing that," but in less of a raspy man whisper and more of like a feminine woman whisper, you know. And that's what it sounded like to me. So let's replay it and see if she says, "Don't stop doing that." Okay, let's listen one more time. Here we go.
That is crazy.
I'm going to rewind it a little. Here we go. So trippy.
That is absurd. I mean, you got it. You caught it happening.
Bro, that was insane, dude. Like, and I'll be honest with you, like, I was Hold on a second here. My OBS is going nuts. Oh no. So we're back, but like we're both convinced that the ghost that was talking in my house is the one that
just crashed
the computer. Yeah.
Just broke it
all down. That was so weird. Like, why would it just stop working all of a sudden? You should have seen what we saw. We might even, I mean, I don't know. It might even look like that.
It might look like it to them.
It was really weird. And yeah, like my whole computer didn't want to cooperate after that. So we're going to listen. We're going to move on. Now everything's okay.
Whoever you were, we're sorry. Right. Here's our apology.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. When that happened, though, like I ran around the house because when you do things like that, you like make sure that the fans are off, you make sure the AC's off, you make sure the TVs and the radios are there's none. So I was freaking out, dude. I was legit having like an experience, bro. Like I was like.
Yeah, take a second. Okay.
All right. Yeah, dude. So, I mean, yeah, man, it's not, that's not the only experience that I've had in that house that I could say was a little strange and like kind of maybe on the spectrum of like the supernatural, I would say.
I've had one experience.
Oh, do tell.
But it wasn't with voices. So obviously growing up as a kid, you know,
I got it on recording.
I know, but as a kid, you know, obviously like you always would sleep in your parents' bed. So one night
I'm just kidding.
Hey, I was a mama's boy, all right? And so I just was sleeping and something had woke me up. I don't know what it was. Right. And so I'm laying there and where my foot was at the edge of the bed, I felt something hit my foot and freaked me out. Like we had a dog, not a big dog. So I was like, okay, it's not him. He's sleeping right there. And then I can see a shadow going around the edge of my mom's bed.
Conjuring style.
And then it disappeared.
Like the nun on the wall.
And I like, as a kid, my heart's racing. I'm like, what is going on right now?
Dude, as an adult, my heart would be racing.
And so I was just like, what? I was like, I didn't watch any scary movies. Nothing was really going on. And so I'm laying there, you know, maybe like 30 seconds, minute goes by. I see a hand reaching over.
You do not.
Reaching over to like grab my mom. And I just kind of shook.
You bullshit.
I swear to God. On everything that I love and I know, I swear to God.
How old were you?
I'd be between 5 to 10. And I don't remember the exact like age, but I remember seeing this hand reaching over like it was gonna grab my mom.
And then
I shook, disappeared.
It disappeared, or did it like slide its hand back?
It like vanished.
It wasn't like somebody yanked its hand back. It was just gone.
It was just gone. And I literally just
right,
I laid.
I was gonna say
I laid with my arms to my side, like when I first felt it, like
just like paralyzed, I was
stuck. When it touched me, I was stuck. And then I saw it go past like towards my mom, and I was like, "There's no way." I was like, "What? Who's in my house?"
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I was
in
like,
your house?
What's going on right now? I was like, I didn't hear the front door open. I didn't hear any footsteps down the hall. And just
who's crawling around my mom's bed trying to molest my mom.
I was just like so freaked out by it that I was just like.
Did you ever tell your mom that story?
I've never told my mom.
You've told her now.
Well, if she sees this, if she finds this somehow, my mom will know that at some point in time when
you stopped a ghost from.
I stopped something from.
Yes, from touching your parents in a real time situation.
Yeah,
that's really very crazy, dude.
It freaked me out, and that's something that I just like I hold in the back of my head. I've never told her.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah. Dude, I had a weird experience one time where I had like, and I told this on the show too, on the Dreams and Nightmares episode with Jared. Mm-hmm. I had an experience one time where, not too long ago, this is like last year, like, I woke up and I looked to my right. I was laying in bed and I looked to my right, and there was this figure standing on the side of my bed, like right next to me, like right next to me.
Yeah.
And I look up at this figure, and like for some reason there was no fear. I was no like fear or like, the only thing I was just kind of like, what is that? Like,
who are you?
Is that real? Like, and I was like, is this really happening? Like, it's almost how people describe sleep paralysis beings, like they're shadow beings.
Yeah.
Essentially, it was this like shadow thing standing right next to me, and I like looked up at it, and like after a moment, I like trying to like was like made sure I was awake, and I was, and like I reached my hand up and like touched it, and it like disintegrated into like.
Whoa.
Into like, you know, million pieces, a bajillion pieces, and just like, and I was like,
goodbye.
Yeah, but it was like, but then I didn't have like a moment where I woke up after that. Do you know what I'm saying? I was just like awake.
Yeah.
That wasn't like I was dreaming, like, wow, I woke up. Like, no, it like went to disintegrated, and then I was like, I guess I'm gonna go make a burger, or like,
like, what do I do?
I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, there was no, you know what I mean? There's no real, like, there was no, like, discernible point where I, like, came out of a sleep and woke up after I saw that. Like, I was awake for that. But, yeah, very strange, dude. Like, and kind of like you said, how you saw the hand just, like, kind of, like, just vanish.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, all right, I guess it happens. I mean...
Like there's
supernatural, that's weird.
No
Supernatural is
way to
strange.
it.
There's no way to explain. That's why I call it supernatural, dude. All right, so check it out. So let's go back to our artifacts. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the Divic Box, the Divic Box, the wine cabinet from hell. All right, a simple wine cabinet, but anything but simple, okay? So the story is that a man named Kevin Mannis bought an old wine cabinet at an estate sale in 2001. The original owner's granddaughter warned him never open it. Kevin didn't listen. He's named Kevin. Dude, Kevin's fucking listen. Dude, my drummer is named Kevin. All right, never mind.
Sorry, Kevin.
Kevin, I love you, bro. Get your shit together, all right? All right. Inside, he found locks of hair, strange carvings, and dried flowers. Bro, if I buy a wine cabinet and the girl who sells it to me says, never open that, and then I open it and there's locks of hair in there, I'm giving it back. She's getting it back.
I don't want a refund. Keep it.
Right. Exactly, dude. So, but that's so when he opened it. And he found all the stuff inside, that's when things went bad, okay? So the curse, Kevin started having terrifying nightmares, visions of a dark shadow attacking him. All right, his lights would flicker, doors would slam on their own, and friends who touched the box would experience horrible luck, illness, financial ruin, even strokes.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Divic Box is kind of a well-known one. The Divic Box has changed owners multiple times. Each owner has experienced paranormal events throughout their time of owning the Divic Box. The Divic Box currently is owned by Zach Baggins. It's at a haunted museum in Las Vegas. Even Post Malone visited the box, and after touching it, he suffered a car accident, a home invasion, and a plane malfunction, all within weeks. Posty, don't go back, dude.
Don't do it. Stick to Kane.
That's making me nervous. All right. So, Steven, if you had an opportunity, an offer.
Okay.
An offer. If somebody was like, I have a proposal for you.
Okay.
We're going to videotape you for the next 4 weeks. We're going to give you $1 million. We're going to videotape every move you make for the next 4 weeks, and you have to open the Divic Box before the 4 weeks so we can see what happens. Are you taking it, or are you passing on that cursed cash?
So I have to open it my time is up.
Before your time starts.
I feel like to make more of that, I would open it day one so they can see what
you have to do. You have to open it day one.
So I thought it was.
So it's open it, and then your time starts.
Okay.
Then they have to follow you for 4 weeks to see if the Divic Box is going to get you.
I feel like that one.
Is it going to get you?
I feel like that one I would be more entitled to trying.
Really?
Because there's no one sending apology letters to this wine cabinet.
I don't think you're getting the scope of things here. Like,
it translates
the Divic Box. Okay, so the people who have, So not only the people who have owned this have all had very
Issues.
strange issues, but their friends who touched the box experienced.
I feel like if it's just me, I feel like that's it. As long as it's like they're just filming me, I'm the one who touches it. It stays wherever I'll be staying.
You don't even have to live with it. You just have to open it.
I just have to open it, and then I can go on my merry way.
You can go on your merry way, and they get filmed for the next 4 weeks.
I feel like it's a coin toss.
I don't know, dude. I feel like, okay, so you wouldn't go and do the picture with Robert the doll,
no,
but you would open the Divic box for $1 million?
I would. Yeah, because there's an incentive.
Would you open it for free?
No. you give me some type of reward, I'll go for it. But if I gotta ask to take a picture with the doll, or else everything's gonna go from there, I'm okay. I'll pass on the doll. I spent money to go see the doll, but you're giving me money to open this, I'll do it.
I don't know, dude. All right, so check this out. I'm gonna give you a couple of people who have had issues with the Divic box. Okay. All right, so this one, the first one is that Kevin Manis guy that we spoke about first. The first guy, the original owner, Manis, purchased the box from an estate sale after gifting it to his mother. She suffered a stroke the same day. Manis and his family reported recurring nightmares featuring a demonic hag, unexplained odors of jasmine and cat urine in their house, and sightings of shadowy figures. No.
I will say...
You're going to open the Divic box. Okay, let's go to the next guy.
Okay.
All right. Iosif Nietsky, a student at Truman State University. Nietsky acquired the box from Manis. He and his roommates experienced insomnia, illnesses, and electronic malfunctions. Nietsky also suffered unexplained hair loss. Unless you want that beautiful mane you got growing to go away, maybe you better rethink the Divic box.
I got a nice thick head of hair. It's just hidden by the hat.
All right, so Jason Haxton, director of the Museum of Osteopathic Medicine, Haxton purchased the box from Nietsky. This is just going down the line, okay? He reported health issues including hives, coughing up blood, and welts on his body. Haxton eventually consulted with rabbis to seal the box and later donated it to Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum.
Wow.
Post Malone, in 2018, musician, visited Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum where the Divic box was displayed. During his visits, Bagans touched the box while Malone touched Bagans' shoulder. Subsequently, Malone experienced a series of misfortunes, including a near plane crash, a car accident, and a home invasion, leading some to speculate a connection to the box. Jacob, a religious man named Jacob, inherited the box after his aunt's sudden death. He stored it in his shop's back room, after which unexplained events occurred. Bottles broke spontaneously, customers heard whispers, and his business declined. Attempting to contain the perceived malevolence, Jacob encased the box in wax and buried it in his basement.
Whoa.
Kevin Manis' store employee and his brother. An employee at Manis' shop experienced distressing events after the Divic box was knocked off its shelf. Tragically, the employee's brother died by suicide shortly after the incident, and the employee himself took his own life a couple of years later. Wow. These events were linked to the box by those involved. It's important to approach these accounts, with caution, but I would not open the Divic box for $1 million. I think you and I are seeing that one a little differently.
I mean, I think it's into the realm of which it's up to people out there to kind of see how they feel about it. I don't dream.
You don't dream?
I go to bed and I wake up.
Nothing happens in between.
Nothing happens in between.
Do you feel like you've slept for a long time, or do you just like?
Nah, I mean,
or is it just like somebody like turns the switch off and turns the switch on, and you're back?
I'm back into it.
5 minutes. Not even that. It just feels like you close your eyes and you woke up.
Because we talked about it. I was like, I don't go to bed till 2-3 o'clock in the morning, but then then I just wake up at 8, 9, whenever my alarm goes off. That's it. That's the next thing.
And you don't have any do you feel rested?
Sometimes if I actually sleep for a good time, sure. But usually I give me a good 6 hours. That's all. But that's it. My eyes close and then they open.
All right. That sounds weirder than anything we're talking about here. All right, so
this conversation for another time.
Right, exactly. All right, so let's move to segment number 3. Okay. So, the cursed chair of death, the Busby Stoop Chair. Okay. So in the 1700s, a man named Thomas Busby was sentenced to death for murder. His final request: to have one last drink sitting in his favorite chair. Mm-hmm. As he was led to the gallows, he cursed the chair, declaring anyone who sits in it will die. The curse? Since then, dozens of people who sat in that chair reportedly died mysteriously. Soldiers, delivery workers, even bar patrons who took a seat met untimely ends. Eventually, the chair was hung from the ceiling of a museum to prevent anyone from sitting in it again. Now, I think you know where my question is going to go with this.
No.
So, Steven, you're in a haunted pub. This chair is sitting in the corner. Mm-hmm. You know the story. Do you take a seat?
I don't take a seat.
Even for a beer?
Not even for a beer.
Even
if it was free for the rest of my life, no thank you. I'll stand.
Okay, let's go up in stakes. $1 million? Are you sitting in the haunted chair for $1 million? Hey, remember, everybody dies and sits in this chair.
I'm good. It doesn't matter. You can whatever.
You're good. No amount of money.
Nothing you can
not on
offer
this one.
to me. I'll skip on this one.
All right, I'm with you.
I'll stand on this one.
We're seeing eye to eye on this one. We're together. Okay. So the next one is the Anguished Man, the painting that cries blood. Now this story is a man inherited a disturbing painting from his grandmother. She told him it was painted using the artist's own blood right before he took his own life. Shortly after bringing it home, the nightmares began. The curse, the painting seemed to whisper at night. The family saw shadow figures in the house, and they even captured footage of the painting moving on its own. After they captured footage of the, I want to see this footage.
We got to find this
footage.
Let's
go. We're doing a follow-up episode. All right. The family saw shadow figures. Okay, capture the footage of the picture moving. After years of torment, they locked it away, but it's still in their possession. So... interesting, very interesting. So this family still owns the Anguished Man painting. So if I gifted you this painting, are you hanging it up in your house or is it going straight in the trash?
I'd probably throw it away. I'm not a big painting person.
Would you give it to somebody you don't like?
Honestly,
somebody from like.
I mean, I feel like there's
somebody,
a lot.
One of your like enemies from water polo or something.
I mean, whoever I've had an issue with in water polo, they can suck it up. I mean,
But you're not gonna like.
I could care less.
You're not sending them. You're not sending them the shadow figures in their house.
I've hit the point in life where
the moving paintings.
I could care less about those people anymore. I just like whatever. You were someone at some point in my life that I despised. Now you're irrelevant in anything happening in my day to day. Fuck you guys.
He sounds angry.
I've also...
somebody obviously has done you wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
There's someone...
everything is going to be okay, Steven.
I know. I just take a deep breath.
That's right.
Take a deep breath. But, I'm more so entitled to just... if there's something I don't want anymore, my mom's like, go donate it. Go do this.
There you go.
I'm like, nah, I'm going to throw it away.
All right.
I don't want to take the time.
I don't want to take the time.
I was like, it's faster for me to walk to the trash can.
You're like, why would I give a needy veteran these perfectly good socks?
I
could throw them in the trash, mother.
Well, dirty socks. I was like, if it's a dirty sock, that's going to the trash. But I will say, I did donate last year. I gave a good chunk of my closet to a donation center next to my house. So I was just like, you know what? Here's a bunch of jackets, pants that are either too small or too big for me. And, I know someone else could use them.
Right. So. Exactly. All right. So, listen, we all could afford to like drop some shit off at AmVets or, whatever, I will say though, the Goodwill,
yeah,
I heard some like not so great things about them, but then again, that's just what you hear. Maybe they're like the best company in the world. I don't know. I don't know. We all have to do our own due diligence, don't we?
I haven't been to a Goodwill since I was like, I don't know, 2013.
I'm sure. I've dropped quite a bit of stuff off there in the years. You know, we're not doing a Goodwill episode, but we can. I mean, if we really want to, we can dive deep
Goodwill
into the lore, that is Goodwill. Okay, so the last one I want to run by you is the Women of Lem, the statue that kills. Oh. So this ancient statue carved around 3500 BC is known as the goddess of death. Every person who has owned it has died under mysterious circumstances. Now, I'm not talking about heart attack at 85. I'm talking about died under mysterious circumstances. The first owner, Lord Elfont, and his entire family died within 6 years of owning it. The next owner, Ivor Manucci, died in just 4. Another Sir Alvin Biverbrook lost his wife and 2 daughters before dying himself, and now it's locked away in a museum with no one daring to touch it. So, my question here is, these names sound a little old. Now, is this back when people were only living until they were 33? You know what I mean?
I was like, there's a possibility, especially if it's coming from like...
So if we're talking about 6 years and they were the owner of these things as an adult, your time's already ticking.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Lord Elfont. I don't know that this one plays.
It's like, he must have not been a good lord if no one really knows who he is.
I mean, I've never heard of him. But
he didn't have a long enough time to be the lord.
I mean, he doesn't have a YouTube channel I've ever seen. So, all right, so... And, all right, so, again, I'm going to ask again. All right, here we go, Steven. You're at an auction this time. He's at an auction. The angry Steven is at an auction this time. All right. This statue is up for bid. Would you take it for free or leave it behind?
I'm going to let it go. I know someone who loves bidding at auctions, so they might take it.
Right.
But... Me personally,
you're letting it go.
I'm letting it go. I'll pass. I'll wait. I'll wait for the fine china on the next one.
All right. So for the final few moments we have together on this episode, Steven, I'm gonna let's play a little game here. Okay. So we're gonna, and I kind of played a little bit of this with Joel last time, and it really is: would you survive the curse? Would Steven survive? Out there in the comments, let me know if Steven would survive or if Steven would be cursed to hell or death or whatever these curses are. Curse, a heart attack. I don't know what that
just make me short again. I don't know.
Short again. All right, here we go. Okay. So, all right, so I'm going to give Steven 3 haunted scenarios, and he has to tell us how he'd survive. And you guys let us know in the comments if he'd survive or is he cursed. All right, here we go. So, scenario 1, you just bought a house.
Okay.
In the attic, you find a locked wooden box with very strange symbols on it. Mm-hmm. Do you open it?
No. Absolutely not. I
open it.
I wouldn't.
I do.
There's some things that I'll just...
You will open the Divic box. I wouldn't open the Divic box. You wouldn't open the wooden box in the attic. I would.
Because there's no incentive.
I think there's money in it. I think there's something... I gotta find out whether there's something valuable in it.
If I buy...
a demon.
Whenever I buy my first house, if I find a random box, I'm
calling... let me open it.
I'm calling you first.
And I'll just come get it.
I'll let you go.
I find a fucking...
if there's money, split it. I'll give you...
Split it?
We'll split it.
You're giving me the risk of having wait a minute. This is a moral conundrum I just have got to explore here. You want me to take the risk of of being haunted by something because... But then you don't want to share in that risk with me, but you want to share in the reward if there's money.
Absolutely.
That's
how you get rich.
That is how you get rich. Absolutely
Someone else's risk is your reward.
Right. Steven would obviously survive scenario number 1. I don't even know if I would probably get the curse in his house. So he's like, Eddie, come open this. Sure, I'll be right over.
Have at it.
You know what I mean? But yeah, exactly. So, all right, here we go. So, scenario number 2.
Okay.
A friend gifts you an old porcelain doll, but every night you find it moved to a different spot. Do you keep it or get rid of it?
I feel like if it's just me living there, if I'm alone, I feel like I would keep it until I'm just like, all right, there's a point that I just got to let this go because I feel like it could be a fun game. Because you're like, where's it going to be today?
Well, I mean, yeah. Right here it doesn't say that the thing, is gonna kill you.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it just says it's gonna move.
Listen, I'll tell you one thing.
Okay.
If you're waking up to the doll moving to a different spot every night, something that's gonna escalate.
Yeah.
There's definitely gonna be an escalation there to some extent. I'm guessing. You know what I mean? So I'm probably kicking it. I'm probably getting rid of it. It's probably heading to the street, you know? That's one of those things I think I could throw away, you know what I mean? Like I could part with, you know?
But what if it comes back? Say you just throw it away. What if it comes back inside?
Okay, so now we're talking like...
You have to
your
fully
average,
get rid of it? Like send it off someone? You watch someone...
Like the monkey.
Yeah.
Like type thing. Like, all right, so you get rid of it, it comes back. Oh, like I'm burning it. I'm like taking it to like Chernobyl and like I'm gonna like
drop it off airmail.
Yeah, bro. Like whatever I gotta do to get as far away from that thing as possible, dude. I'll take it to that like pit that like Russia dug in the earth. It's like 12 miles deep and toss it in or something, dude. Like whatever whatever I have to do, you know. So it moves to a different spot. You'd keep it and somehow try and chain that bastard up so he can't move. And what if you woke up in the middle of the night and it was like alive and it was like trying to like get out of its chains and shit and it's fucking moving around? Would you try and kill it, or would you just like run away? Would you be like, oh my god, I can't deal with this, like I gotta go to rehab?
I think at that point is where I would try to stop it. I would just be like, all right, you're done. I'm popping your head off. I'm sending piece by piece down the garbage disposal. We'll see you later. Have a good one. So but it could also be like Ted. Right. He just came to life. It freaked everyone out at first, but then... But
do you take that chance? And that's what I'm saying. Listen, if the doll starts just talking all friendly to you, that's one thing. If it's like, hey, let's go grab ice cream, like, you know what I mean? Like, but if it's like, menacingly staring at you and not saying anything, like, there might be a problem. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like...
Context is key here.
Yeah, I was going to say, at least for a little bit, I would just... I would like to... just see what it's like,
where it goes,
and then once it like hits this point of like, all right, we gotta stop this, that's where I send it off.
I gotcha. Okay, all right, cool. So scenario 3, you find a strange painting at a thrift store. The cashier refuses to sell it. Do you insist on taking it home, or do you just okay, all right, this guy's...
I think it comes
if
with...
you have the money and you just love it and you're like, I gotta have this painting, and the cashier's like, dude, you don't want this painting. You don't want this painting. I'm telling you right now, it's not a matter of money. It's a matter of you not wanting this painting. Trust me, you don't want this in your house.
I feel like that's where I'd be like, all right, I'll listen on that one.
I feel you.
I'll survive the painting one. The moving doll is where it's a 50-50 shot of my life.
I feel you, man. Whether you believe in haunted objects at home or not, history has proven one thing, that some things are better left alone. Because one curse latches onto you, because once a curse latches onto you, they say it never lets go. So I don't know if you believe in curses or not. I believe that's what we're talking about tonight here. So if you have missed the episode, that's what we were talking about. Go back, rewind, check a little bit of it out. Thanks for listening to Exit the Matrix, you guys. And I got again, you guys. I wanted to remind you guys always to remember, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, not the other way around. I love you guys. My name is Eddie Booze. This is Exit the Matrix. See you guys next time. Take care.